Hello, 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 beautiful people. I am back and I am excited to be back. You know, I'm always excited to be back. I say it every time because it's true, because it literally is true. So, for those of you who are joining us for the first time or joining me for the first time, my name is Leah Murphy. I am the CEO and founder of Career Gems for the Journey, where we help talented professionals build thriving careers. And we have been deep series, and the series has been a little spicy. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the feedback and kind of the dialogue for folks who are able to join me live and those who are on the replay. We love all of the people who are able to participate on the platform with us. So if you're here with us live, please do take advantage of the opportunity to drop your city in the chat. If you drop your city in the chat, I'll be able to shout you out, and then I'll know who's vibing with me today. It's gray and kind of overcast where I am in Philadelphia on the East Coast of the US. So I would love some bright energy coming from those who are joining me live. It always just gives me a little bit of extra wind in my sails. But today's content is going to be such a stretch. So I'm really, really interested to hear people give me their firsthand perspective on this, because we've been talking about what I wish I knew in my career, right? What I wish I knew before I started my corporate career. And those of you will know that I spent 15 years in corporate America. Then I ran my own business, and I'm continuing to run my own business. And in doing that, there were some really aha moments that I have now been able to take away. And now I'm coaching others, right? Other executives, directors, vice presidents in organizations that are now reaching higher heights than I reached when I was in corporate, but also coming from a very strategic perspective. I was able to lead strategy for a period of time in an organization. And in working in strategy, it requires you to be able to vision and take a step forward and stretch the organization for what the future could potentially look like. So I'm employing all of that here with you guys today. So I got my lapel mic. I had to look down to make sure that we were all good, make sure the audio was good, because I don't want anybody to miss this. Like, I really don't want anybody to miss this. This is one that you're going to want to share. So like, just get ready with your share button when you're on LinkedIn a little bit later. 24 hours after we do the live is normally when it posts for the replay. You're going to want to share this one. So last week we talked about being in the mindset of these years, that year 8 to 15 being your money making years. Your money making years while you're in an organization, because there's a lot of value that you've already created through your experience, through having, a real firsthand perspective, right? You've been touching things, maybe you have technical expertise, maybe you're a people leader, maybe you've been able to build relationships. So that 8 to 15 years is really a money making year window. And I want to make sure that folks capitalize on that. And I wanted to just put an asterisk to add to it, because last year I talked about being able to bring more money into your household during these money making years. There's also this opportunity in that window, if you play your cards right, that you can start to negotiate on things that are broader than salary. I just had a conversation with a client earlier today, and she was talking to me about her salary and her compensation. And where we got to was, she was looking for new opportunities, and she was like, I do also want to make more money. But when we broke down her total compensation package, her compensation package, set aside salary for a moment, was valued at over 50,000 additional dollars. So if you think about just your salary as what you can negotiate on, then we're limiting ourselves. So I want to really encourage us to think about a total compensation. And in the book, Salary Power Moves, Winning the Compensation Negotiation, I go deep into all of the other levers that can be pulled in addition to salary. And I want more of us to have the opportunity to negotiate across many different portions of compensation. So the book will help you do that. You can actually grab a copy of it, plug. If you scan this QR code, you can grab a copy of the book, Salary Power Moves, Winning the Compensation Negotiation, so that you're thinking about, all right, I am in year 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, all the way up into, 25, 30-year careers. And we're making sure that you're leveraging the opportunity to negotiate at these different intersections. And I want to make sure that folks, if you're going to be in an organization, to make sure that you think about not just compensation, but also the perks of the organization. we had this really great discussion in my one-on-one group, in my members only group, around working in industries and choosing the company you work for based on the benefits that that company uniquely offers, right? So if you work for a healthcare institution, and essentially, in the US, healthcare is a huge expense. If you can get free healthcare in an organization, think about what that actually ties back to a total compensation. If you can put a number value on that, now you're thinking about broad compensation value and working for that organization. Or say you decide you want to work in the travel and leisure industry, and you have the ability to be able to fly or stay in hotels for, minimal cost. That ties back to compensation. And I'm seeing companies now write up job offers really highlighting the things that are perks or benefits to their organization. And I want to incorporate that into a total compensation discussion, because everything ties back to dollars, right? In this life, either we're investing money or we're investing time. So if an organization gives a perk or gives a benefit, and you can see that as a direct correlation to dollars that actually matter to you, right? That's important. It has to matter. It has to be something that you're going to use, something that you're going to care about. But these perks can really transform certain total compensation ideals. And I want to make sure that we're just having those discussions. So I went off track a little bit. I'm coming back. Don't worry. I'm always going to come back. Grown-ups come back. So that's a joke. One of the shows that my children used to watch as when they were really little, was this discussion around, creating safety so people felt confident, so that, people wouldn't feel like you are going to be going for too long. I'm going to go off on a tangent for a minute, but I'm going to bring you back. Grown-ups come back, right? So 2 new gems that I wanted to drop this week, specifically when we're talking about this, 15 years and beyond. When you're at this stage in your career, obviously there is a lot that you have invested into this career. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of mental math that you've been able to do to make critical decisions as to, go here, go there, stay here, leave and do this, add to this, subtract from that, right? There's all of this really rich lived experience that you have now. And when you think about that lived experience, even with, degrees and accolades and accreditations or acknowledgement, that lived experience is just priceless. It's tremendously valuable. And I want to make sure that we start to think about, how do we leverage our lived experience as well as our professional credentials, and all of the assets that kind of got us into some of our earlier opportunities. Because for the most part, when you're past that 15-year mark, it's less about your degrees, it's less about your professional associations. It's really more about the relationships that you built and the reputation that you've established. And you're going to continue to refine that reputation. We talked a lot last week about the personal brand. That all leads back into reputation, right? Protecting your reputation so that it is pristine, and that when the word gets out that you're looking for another opportunity, or you would consider another opportunity, that the first pass on reputation is, they're solid, they're fantastic, they've been great, we've been able to collaborate. Not saying that everyone that you worked with is going to be your biggest fan or going to be your friend, but certainly even people who you didn't like can acknowledge that you are good at what you do, right? If they're mature. If not, you got some other people you can refer them to. So your reputation is what allows you to have references. It's what allows you to have people in other organizations that you've worked with in the past that have collaborated with you, that are willing to say, like, of course, oh, you're calling me about Leah? Psh, man, it's a no-brainer. Make it happen. Give her what she's asking for. Because that's what we're really doing when it gets to that later part of our career, that 15 years and beyond. Certainly that's the way that we want to continue to position ourselves. So if you don't feel like you're there yet, I'm going to give you a couple of gems to make it possible for you. So I'm looking at my notes because we prepped here again. I mentioned something last week that I wanted to revisit. I said, if there's anyone who's joining us, our OGs, who's been with us for a long time, this series and us being on LinkedIn Live has just continued to build and get richer and richer. So our OGs who have been with us from the beginning, our original gems, wanted to make sure we acknowledge our original gems. So any OGs that are here, drop OG in the chat. If you've been with us for this series, or been with us for previous series, would love to make sure that we get to acknowledge our OGs, our original gems. So now, we're at that 15-year plus mark. And now we're trying to think about what are the strategies that we can employ to benefit from all of that lived experience, as well as all that professional relationship capital. And the first one is starting to concentrate your power. So I really want to encourage folks to think about concentrating your power. Early in career, a lot of times we move from different departments or maybe different functions, and we're building this breadth of expertise. And that breadth of expertise can help tremendously to get you additional compensation, new opportunities, joining new organizations, to make you a jack of multiple trades, a Jill of multiple trades. When you start to get into that next phase, being known for one or two things and being deep in those one or two things can really be the difference maker, because transitions inside of an organization are going to be fewer. You're not going to get promoted rapidly anymore. You may not be able to make cross-functional roles make sense as easily as they once did. So now, once the organization, because naturally organizations will begin to slow that down at that 15-year and beyond mark. Now you want to start to concentrate your power and start to focus in areas that allow you to harness all the value that you've already brought from your lived experience and all of the organizational capital. And it also allows you to think through your reputation and what you want to be known for that aligns that external brand. So I'll use myself as an example. Right now, I have been working for myself over the course of the last few years. And working for myself, I am an executive coach and I am a negotiation expert. When I think about the executive coach and negotiation expert, that really does open up the realm of possibility for when folks are looking for someone who are in those two areas. Now, it may feel narrow in some regards, but I would argue that being able to be narrow in certain areas makes your name come up first when the opportunities are presenting themselves. So start to concentrate your power and your expertise, right? There's areas to do it in healthcare. There's areas to do it in marketing. There's areas to do it in sales. There's areas to do it in business development sales, right? What is your unique talent? What have you decided that now is going to be the area where you're going to focus, because you're going to start to concentrate your power? It doesn't mean that all the skills and all the things that you've done in the past are irrelevant. It just means that those things don't sit as prominently as the area that you're really concentrating your power in. So I want you to think about it. I want you to be definitive about it. And then I want you to leverage that, because now you have your area of expertise that kind of, along with your other superpowers, really makes you someone that folks begin looking for or can refer people your direction. Hey, there's this great opportunity specifically focused in, supply chain logistics. Who am I going to call for it, right? Do you have any names of folks? When you say supply chain logistics, there are a few people that you're like, yeah, that's their bag, that's their thing. I'm going to send them your way. And I like to really remind folks of concentrating your power really does allow you to be more powerful and allows other people to advocate on your behalf often, consistently, because they know what you do. It's easy to speak to. They can direct somebody directly to you. So the first gem, 15 plus years, is talking about let's really focus on concentrating your power. And this is an ongoing thing. You're going to constantly be seen as it. Ooh, I couldn't talk for a second. You will be seen as an advisor to others who are leaders in other organizations, but need the expertise. That always bodes for you well. But you can also build something internal to your own organization based on that. You can begin to develop other people based on your expertise. So there's all kinds of different paths that it can take. But ultimately, concentrating your power and focusing on what's your core competency and the thing that you want to be known for allows you to leverage that power. The second gem, and this one is so underrated. Like, it's so underrated. I just wish more people thought about this. And normally you have to be in a position of power and influence in order to leverage it. So I think that's often the reason why people don't think about it. This gem is one that is one of my favorites. Put other people in position to win. So once you've gotten to 15 years plus, that 15 to 25 year mark in your career, you have credibility, you have relationship capital, you've been able to deliver results, you have tremendous amounts of lived experience, you realize relationships are their own form of currency, and relationship currency can be more valuable than actual dollars and cents. When you put other people in a position to win, you not only secure your own reputation, right? Because you've now identified great talent, you've been able to position them to bring money into their own household. So now this relationship that you've had with this individual that you've put in a place to win is now more solidified, it's stronger, it's more secure. You've also identified yourself to the organization that they're in as an expert, as a mentor, as an advisor. And then when you're gathering intel through your relationships with other people, right? You put them in a position to win. They're working in another country or they're working in another division in your same company, even. Now you've broadened your network of people who are vested in seeing you be successful. So putting other people in a position to win, hire someone that, may not have been the traditional hire, and we can go down a whole path for that, right? Hire someone who may have a unique skill set that you see potential in, and with the proper guidance, coaching, development, they can take off and have a tremendous impact on the organization, or they can, broaden their own career. That's one way to put people on. It's another thing to put people in leadership positions in your organization. You see a gap in skill set and organizational leadership. Maybe they don't have the technical depth, but they have the people development skills, and you see that vision and you make those two things work with the right coaching and support. They're going to be successful. They're going to win. Game changer. And when you put them in the position, give them the budget, the power, the decision making, and give them the support structure. Give them the coach, give them the consultant, give them what they need in order to be successful. Man, the impact of putting people in a position to win, setting them up for success, pays dividends forever. Forever. I've seen leaders who have this vision and forethought, and they realize, at some point, I'm no longer going to be in this position, or I don't want to be in this position anymore. So I want to start putting other people in positions to win, because it really does secure not only the ideals that are aligned to me, right? Because it's not always, they're not always going to be a one-to-one where we agree on everything, but they certainly will be loyal to the idea of then potentially paying it forward. So it's a huge legacy building lever to pull also. Put people in positions to win. There is enough money, there is enough opportunity, there are enough organizations, there is enough of everything that's already out there in the market. I love to think about, the job market as well as the stock market. As you align, to this great tip or this great stock or this great organization that you want to encourage people to invest in, I think about people in the same way. I think about this great talent, this amazing individual, given the right opportunity, their sky's the limit. When you put people in positions to win, it comes back to you full circle. It comes back consistently, and it may take a few years, it may take some time, but ultimately you benefit from them being in a position to win. They benefit from them being in a position to win. And normally the organization will too. And that happens when you're inside of an organization, inside of a company relating to corporate, or it also happens when it's nonprofit organizations, leaderships, positions on boards, right? Put other people in a position to win. When you do that, it changes the game. It changes the game for you, and it changes the game for them. So as you think about how can I, in this season, in this 15 to 25 year season of my career, think about what do I want to do? What investments am I looking to make? How do I want to really solidify the work that I've done? And the two ways to often do that is really start concentrating your power, focus in the area. What do you want to be known for? What are you the expert for? What are you the go-to? How many people can get sent to you specifically for your expertise? How can you be an advisor to other talented leaders, be it CEOs, folks who are in the C-suite. When you're an expert in what you do, and you see this in the consulting world all the time, essentially you're known for one or two things, and when the call comes up for one of those two things, you're getting the call. You can still do that as someone who sits in an organization or someone who is self-employed. Both and is what I'm really encouraging here. Both and. And then the other one is put other people in a position to win. When you put people in a position to win inside of an organization, inside of a nonprofit organization, on a board, in an area of responsibility, power, influence, that comes back to you tremendously. Your intel that is coming back to you is fresh, right? That's hot off the press. There's so many valuable ways that you can benefit from putting other people on to win. And I mean, to be honest, for me, it feels really good. It feels really good. Lots of stuff that we have to do on a day-to-day basis when we're talking about work doesn't necessarily feel good. It's just stuff that has to be done. But when you see someone who's talented and capable, and you or your direct influence impacts them being in a position to win, I mean, the sleep that I get on my pillow at night, the rest that comes over me when I put someone who is deserving in a position to win, and then it comes back that they're winning, ooh, it's nothing better. Nothing is more gratifying. And also, nothing will make someone more loyal to you than you putting them in a position to win. You seeing something in them that they may not have even seen in themselves. So that's it for today. This one is spicy. It feels like a stretch, right? It's the way it's thinking about yourself and your career in a more broad way, right? It's less about that tactical day-to-day, what's happening in your organization. It's more about leveraging the reputation that you've already built and taking it to the next level. That's what we're here for in this series. So we're going to close out. We're going to close out this series the next time we're together, because I have some new things that are coming, and I want to make sure that we give space and time for that. I'm also going to be traveling again. So I want to bring you all with me while I'm traveling, because I think that there is a really unique perspective that I'll be able to bring. I will leave you in suspense for a little while. The next time we're together, we're going to close out this series, What I Wish I Knew Early in Career. And we're going to talk about that 25-year and beyond range. We're really going to start to think through, what does that look like? And what are the strategies that we can use to be able to either maximize that time or to transition to focusing on OG status. We're original gem status, and we want to just make sure we're continuing to put other people in a position to win. And in doing that, solidifying the value that we bring to the organization and also the compensation that we bring to ourselves. Because, it always comes down to investing time or investing money. So thank you guys so much for being with me today. This has been amazing. I look forward to being back with you all next week. I will be back here next week at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday on LinkedIn Live, as well as streaming directly live from to YouTube. So I'm going to close out here with actually putting the promo back up. So if you wanted to grab a copy of the book, you see it here on this QR code, and I'll also put it up here on the screen so you can take advantage of it as we close out. I'll see you all next time.